without question, the finest sniper camouflage ever developed is the ghillie suit. Now, ghillie is Scottish for guy, and indeed it was in Scotland that this effective camouflage was born. As worn by our spotter today, a ghillie suit, we'll give him a second to come to his feet, covers his entire back so that he can lie prone with it. He was, in effect, invisible when lying prone. A spotter, if you could turn backwards, consists of many layers of burlap and other colored cloth tied in to a net that is sewn on the back, the legs, and the back sides of the arms with a matching hat. In this case, it's an American jungle hat to which numerous strips have been tied. Important point, you'll see in a moment, I'm going to show you a little detail of these loops or squares, but each one has at least one piece, one strip tied to it. Because it's tied rather than sewn or stapled or something, you can take it off if need be to change coloration. And you can add some more coloration later if necessary. The actual strips are anywhere from about 12 to 18 inches long, looped through once, tied with a single knot. If you would turn back the other way. Now you notice on the front, we've glued naga hide. You can do the same thing with old rubber, inner tube rubber. Glued that to his knees and to his elbows. If you lift an elbow there. To his elbows so that he can glide a little better across the ground, and underneath each is a compressed sponge to protect those knees and elbows a little bit. But otherwise, we keep that front relatively clean to facilitate low crawling. A couple notes about making these. The easiest way to get the materials that you need is buy one of these jungle hammocks. They're tied in squares about the appropriate 1 inch, 1.5 inch squares that you tie it to. Cut it in the lengths and sizes you need to then attach to the sleeves and sides, sew it in place, and then tie those strips to it. If you cannot find a piece of netting such as this, which this is real handy because it's also green right away, you can make your own, which I did with just ordinary string, ordinary twine. If you're in combat and you cannot drop by the surplus store to buy a hammock, all you have to do is find twine. Just about any country in the world you should be able to find some. I tied these approximately 1.5 inches, 2 inches by 2 inches. And indeed, on this ghillie suit, if I may borrow your headgear for a second, you can see that's exactly what I did for this one. Just to demonstrate to students that using field expedient materials, whatever you can get your hands on, you can still make a ghillie suit. Thank you. Spotter. Something that you can do to help tone it up and help blend these colors together is accent it with spray paint. You don't want to dominate it with it, but just help blend it all together. You'll probably find that a few strips at some point or other a little brighter or a little darker than the rest. You can blend it all together with spray paint. And finally, there's a danger, a genuine fire danger with a G-suit, because you've got all this frazzled burlap and dry material. It could go up like an old Christmas tree. Therefore, I recommend treating it with a fire retardant such as this. This is called K2. It's manufactured in Chaska, Minnesota. The reason I like this is it's water soluble. It'll keep these fuzzy fine edges because it's water soluble rather than some kind of heavy glue-like fire retardant. Problem is that when it gets thoroughly wet, you have to retreat it. You have to retreat it with the K2. But for the benefit of still being able to have all these fine frazzles, it's well worth the necessity of retreating. We're going to demonstrate how to properly camouflage a face. There are a couple different camouflage products you may use. Here's the military type camouflage stick, real difficult to deal with, it's very hard. We've also got the civilian compact camos. My favorite is using the paste type. The only thing you have to realize is don't put it on too thick, otherwise it's shiny and it reflects light. To camouflage a human face, you have to take into account that some parts of that face protrude or advance toward whoever's looking at it, such as the chin, the nose, the eyebrows, the edge of the forehead, while other places are concave or going away, such as here in the insets of the eye, around the nostrils, the center of the chin. What you want to do to fool the eye is to make those things that are advancing, protruding, dark, and make those that are concave light. Because it's much easier to touch up dark over light, we're first going to put on the light. We'll start around the eyes. And now we're going to go to black. It's important that we not make a symmetrical pattern, because the eye looks for that kind of balance and the mind says man-made. Nature makes things randomly. So you don't want, let's say, the right side of the face to balance the left side. You'll blend in a lot better. You can see I'm bringing it together somewhat into an overall kind of a cohesive, blended together. I won't call it a pattern, but just, well, let's say cohesive camouflage. I don't like the pink of that eye. There. When I do it down here, he'll be wearing a scarf, so I'm not going to run it real far down the neck, but there shouldn't be any flesh color showing. It's real easy to overdo it with brown. That's why I'm careful about it. I tried to be careful about it. I just want to blend it in a little bit. And you see, if you leave it all alone, it almost looks orange. I want to look at, I keep eyeing what the surrounding colors look like. There. And I challenge you to tell me if that any longer looks like a human face. Recent camouflage development that would be especially useful for law enforcement officers is what are called mesh suits. They pull over your ordinary street clothes. What's great is that these are very compact. This is a jacket. Even when combined with the bottoms, the pants, it would occupy a space about that of a half-gallon milk carton. But unroll it, shake it, you can put this right over street clothes. Now look at how bright his shirt is, a white and bright colors. He's going to be able to conceal himself with just that mesh jacket. Something else in a similar shade, which equally pulls on quickly, is a rifle chap. Perhaps your department issues glossy stocked rifles. This too can be slipped on in a mere moment. Now he's going to put on his sniper veil. Camouflage hat. He also has camouflage gloves. Literally within, perhaps 90 seconds, he's gone from street clothes to full camouflage. Our Rollbar SR90 sniper rifle is equipped with an excellent Parker Hale bipod, but what do you do if you're in the field and you don't have a bipod? You can make a field expedient one by cutting 3 sticks about a ½ inch diameter, about 12 inches long, take a boot lace, tie them together. This is technically a tripod, but that's solid.